Okay, great. I'll go back.
Okay.
Thank you for your patience.
um, if um, mm, um, mm, 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 my name is um Jason Peterson. And I'm 29 years old.
Started riding motorcycles for the very fact that the sense of isolation was comforting. It's meditative. The sense of the outcast, that image, is very appealing to me. It still is, to a certain degree, because I am. I personally believe that stuttering amplifies what you feel, and most stutterers are very sensitive, even though they think they're not. They are, and we react accordingly. You'll either succeed beyond your wildest dreams, or it'll put you in the grave.
Wow. I don't know if I've ever been asked that before. Why? I just do. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I can be perfectly effortlessly fluent, and sometimes I'm not, and it can be in the exact same situation. So why? You got me.
Why do some of us stutter? Maybe a better question is, why don't more of us stutter? After all, there are over 100 muscles involved in the act of speaking. These muscles make incredibly precise movements in a fraction of a second. It takes 1 million brain cells to effectively create a single sound, let alone a word. With so many biological functions occurring in concert, wouldn't it seem that a lot could and would go wrong? It's speculated that the average human speaks approximately 16,000 words per day. With so many words being produced, the chance for speakers to make a mistake during conversation would seem highly probable. And in fact, they do. Your average speaker makes many mistakes during conversation. An occasional stutter, grammatical errors, forgetting words, and mispronunciations are just some of the missteps that we make on a daily basis. For most of us, speaking is an effortless process. We have a thought, we take a breath, we speak. Simply stated, speech is produced by the expiration of air from the lungs passing over the vocal cords, resulting in vibrations known as the voice. The voice is then shaped by the tongue, jaw, soft palate, hard palate, and the lips. This process results in speech, and it occurs effortlessly and automatically for most of us.
It all stems from, you know, and again, I think I heard somewhere where, I could be wrong, you know, I'm just saying this, a kid growing up, he or she is learning to speak. And then if the parents are patient, because I think there's a stage where they would learn their vocabulary and they're kind of stuttering a little bit and they're searching for the words. My parents are not the patient parents. Both of my parents are like bad. My father, when I was young, you know, I stuttered and he slapped me. You know, speak better. He slapped me. You know, right there, you know, at the dining table. Or if I talk in the dining table, it's like, you know, shut up. Don't talk because you're stuttering. So I would be quiet, you know. So it's very traumatizing.
When I was 8 years old, my parents had me get speech therapy in school. You know, her focus had been talk really, really slow. You know, stop, breathe, think about your words. And she told my parents this too. And after about 6 months of therapy, you know, I kind of walked in to her office and said, yeah, I quit. And when I got home that night, my dad asked me, you know, so what happened today at school? I'm like, you know, nothing. And we didn't talk about stuttering after that, you know. However, they did keep telling me to stop, and breathe, you know, and slow down every time I talked. Eventually, it turned into, you know, Scott, stop. When I was 18, I did stop. I stopped talking. That's when I went dark. Couldn't take the anger at myself for how I talked. This blame, this carrying this with me. You know, and that's when thoughts of suicide were rampant.
The cause of stuttering is a mystery. Historically, some interesting theories have been offered to explain why we stutter. Stuttering was once attributed to changing handedness and even evil spirits residing in the brain. Today, many people mistakenly think that stuttering is a condition brought on by anxiety or psychological trauma. These theories oversimplify the complex and dynamic nature of stuttering. Statistically, we know how the population is affected. There are 4 times as many males who stutter as females. And while 5% of all children stutter, 4 out of 5 will spontaneously recover by late childhood. Stuttering, in some cases, is inherited genetically. So if you stutter, there is a possibility that it may be inherited by your son or daughter. For now, stuttering remains a mystery, and only time will determine when the cause will be revealed.
My concern for what other people thought, and the fact that I was spending every morning wondering what's going to happen next, helped the problem stick around, helped it get worse, because I was always trying not to stutter. And then when you're trying not to stutter, now you're one, doing something that's not natural. And the reality is what you're trying to do is probably physiologically harder than what you habitually do. You know, that's the analogy with walking. You know, we learn to walk with the gait, most of us. That is the most efficient, physiologically less demanding way to move our body. and you put a 2x12 on the ground and you walk across it, most people don't change that natural habitual gait, and yet you put that board 50 feet in the air and you ask people to walk, and now they do something different, right? Now they don't use that natural gait because now they're not trying to walk across the board. Now they're trying not to fall.
The fear, especially for a person like me who is moderate to mild sometimes. So if someone sees you and then all of a sudden they notice that you stutter and really bad, the fear of it. I mean, you can feel your face go red, your body heightens with the anxiety, your emotions, you know, not only your anxiety, a little bit of shame, that you kind of, in your peripheral vision, see the person's face looking at you like, what's going on? What's going on? They're feeling uncomfortable, and now I'm feeling uncomfortable because they're uncomfortable. A good visualization is I'm in this bubble and everyone's outside of that bubble, the glass, and they're just looking at me in. You know, they're just seeing me, and I'm like this, the spectacle. That's when it's on your mind a lot.
My stuttering's on my mind every day.
It's on my mind every day.
Every opportunity that I speak, I think about like, oh, you gotta be fluent, you gotta be fluent, you gotta be fluent.
People tell, oh, let's hang out. Oh, that means I have to talk to you.
It has become a habitual process where it's now the lead of everything I say, everything I do. It has me on a leash. So it seems now. Stuttering stops me from communicating my true feelings. I feel like I have a lot to give, a lot I want to do. I truly want to succeed and make friends and go out and work on my the marketing business, but if I didn't stutter, I would have succeeded a long time ago. It's my fear that is stopping me. I just feel trapped.
Stuttering is often defined as talk with continued involuntary repetition of sounds, especially initial consonants. However, this definition is far too narrow to cover the variety of ways in which stuttering can present itself. People who stutter demonstrate varying levels of severity. From mild to severe, the outcome can range significantly. Stuttering can happen on a single sound, a syllable, a word, and even a whole phrase. A stuttering event can be fleeting or last for several seconds. Stuttering can also manifest as a block, which arises when the voice will not come out as though it is trapped in the throat. Not only can we hear stuttering, but in many cases we can see it too. It can be seen in subtle ways such as a tense jaw or reluctant eye contact. It can also manifest as severely as foot stomping or head jerking. These actions are referred to as secondary behaviors, which are physical actions made by the body in an attempt to release the blocked sound. The way in which one stutters is often unique and can vary throughout the course of a lifetime. It can even vary throughout the course of a conversation. Stuttering can have many manifestations, but the severity and variety of physical behaviors a person can experience merely scratches the surface of stuttering. The reality of many people's journey with stuttering is far more complex and deeper than what we see and hear.
What we will show is L epsilon x t y 0 omega will converge to this value. L bar of y minus x over t into 1 over key. Now, what we need, a lot of people have assumed that because I stutter, I'm slow or I don't understand things. Even laughing, even mocking, even pointing and making fun is not that bad. Thinking that I'm slow or I don't understand something, that hurts a lot. Yeah, I got hurt when I was younger, like when my mother used to send me out to get some sugar or some milk or some groceries, and I used to go to the store, and the store guy used to know me. He had known me for a while, but still he started laughing when I got stuck. Okay, it's not new to you. You should not laugh at me. These incidences has happened a lot. A couple of my school friends even made fun of me in high school. But yeah, the most hurtful reaction is when people think that you are stupid, and yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
You can go to the support group meeting and ask people what sounds they have trouble with. And Harry will have trouble with H's, and Don will have trouble with D's, and Tom with T's. I mean, it's all the way around. Yes, name thing weighs very heavily.
To this day, I still cringe that I couldn't say my name.
There's times where it becomes absolutely so hard to get out.
I can use techniques to control my stuttering, but with my name, they don't really ever work.
How hard is it to say, I can't even say it now.
It often makes other people uncomfortable.
My name is Jenny. Jenny, 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 Jenny.
That's one of the few things that I still do try to avoid, is saying my name.
Probably like most people who stutter, I often have trouble with it. My lips get a bit tight and I, squeeze, and sometimes it gets really tight here and it's longer, like this. And of course, when you do that, especially if a person is just meeting you for the first time, the listener is pretty puzzled. They don't know what's going on. The sort of oddest experience I had with not my name, but my brother's name when I was growing up, his name is Lenny. And this woman asked me my name, and luckily I could say it. And so she had no idea that I stuttered. And then the next day, I was across the street from her house. And that's, a little bit harder when you're trying to yell. And so this lady said, "Hey, Barry." And I said, "Hi." And she said, "Is that your brother?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "What's his name?" And I put my mouth into position to say Lenny, and nothing came out. And it just went on and on and on. And in desperation, I said, "I don't know." And I was so embarrassed that for the rest of the 4 years there, I just sort of avoided her house, made a big, detour around her house so she wouldn't have a chance to see whether I was crazy or not.
That's all, folks.
The entertainment industry has a long history in its portrayal of stuttering. One of the earliest theatrical successes for MGM Pictures was a 1932 production entitled Freaks. The film focuses on a circus freak show that features people with real physical deformations in the lead roles. Among these unique performers is a man who stutters.
Oh, come on, Daisy.
Oh, no, you don't. She's gonna stay right here.
No, she isn't. I gotta go.
Ah, boy, you're always using that for an excuse, for an alibi.
The actor that played the role, Roscoe Aites, stuttered as a child but recovered as an adult. He would often revive his stutter for its perceived comedic value.
I think he likes you.
Comedic effect has not been the only purpose for portraying stuttering in the movies. Over the rich history of cinema, several characterizations have provided insight into the effect of stuttering on an individual's life. Regardless of whether stuttering has been portrayed as a source of comedy, compassion, or empathy, these images may have a lasting effect on what we think it is to live with stuttering.
When I was in high school, I was only sure of a couple things. While I may not have been the only person in the world who stuttered, I was the only person who let it get in my way, and I was the only male who couldn't really figure out females. I came up with this great idea of scripting my calls. So, I would just write down, hi, Julie, this is Dale. I was wondering if you wanted to go to a movie, and, perfectly natural sounding, guy reading off a script. I dialed the phone, and I heard it ring. Somebody picked up, said hello, and I hung up, chickened out. I got to try it again. So I picked up the phone, dialed. I got a hello. I said, hello, could I speak with Julie, please? The voice said, this is Julie. I said, got out the script. Yeah. Hi, Julie, this is, and she said, did you just call? And I said, what? She said, because I picked up the phone, I said hello, and somebody hung up on me. A lot of weirdos out there. Anyway, hello, Julie. I was wondering if you would like to go see a movie with the title French Connection on Friday. She says, okay, sure. Okay, sure. That's a yes.
Among the many interesting dimensions of stuttering is the fact that people who stutter don't stutter when they sing. While this phenomenon defies an easy explanation, the answer most likely lies in the complex functioning of the human brain. For everyday expression of spoken language, we engage the left side of our brain. However, when we take part in creative activities such as singing, we engage the right side of the brain. Activating the right hemisphere allows creative expression to take a different path and seemingly bypass the obstacles that cause stuttering. Of course, for people that stutter, the freedom they find in artistic expression transcends the science that explains it.
Some say the road less traveled leads to good. I say there's nothing as good as you were. Are you starting to blaze a new path? Is that learning? Starting over wasn't hard. Starting over wasn't so hard to do.
I've been singing since I was in grade school. In fact, if you talk to my mom, she will say I actually came out, singing. I've been in bands as the lead singer since I was 13 years old. And I've sang in front of thousands of people. I've never stuttered singing. In some ways, I probably could do that. I could just hum a little along as I talk, and I could talk on a beat and just kind of do it. Be really fluent and be really cool. Yeah, but that's not me. It's not how I express my thoughts every day.
Stuttering to me is a lack of freedom. It's feels like I'm constantly putting on a mask and hiding who I really am. Dancing makes me feel like I have wings and that I can go anywhere. I just feel free. Sorry. Stuttering does, it ceases to exist in how I dance, and it makes me feel like that's one of the only ways I can release what I want to say and what I'm feeling.
The pain is real, and stuttering is an amplifier. To this day, I can't handle somebody teasing me. I work with this one guy, and it's construction, it's a warehouse, so you have a lot, like you lose IQ points a lot of times with the people you deal with. And vocabulary is very simple. Just a lot of swear words, and you fit right in. But this guy was bugging me about my speech. And one day I just said, look, you have not earned the right to make fun of me. You're not my friend. Well, a few weeks passed, and we were in the break room, and we were talking, and come to find out, he was a stutterer as a child.
Stuttering is really the only thing that would bring me to fisticuffs. And it's not politically correct, but I think the effects of running away, the effects of not responding to bullying when it's being done to harm you, they have lifelong effects. And I don't want a kid to have those kind of effects. I know what those effects are like. You had to live with them. It's nothing to live with. And then I remember, there was a time when I was in college. Now, when you're in college, when I'm 18 years old, at the time it was legal to drink. So, you get a couple beers in you. That's one thing I knew, of course, when I got beer in me, that my speech changed. I don't know if my actual speech changed or I just had I just don't give a shit anymore. When you get a little couple beers in you, 5 or 6 beers in you, you're just kind of getting loaded. But there was a guy in a bar, I was with 3 other friends, a guy in a bar started making fun of my speech. I wanted to go after him. My friends, they dragged me out of the bar, or they got me out of the bar, and all the time being dragged out of the bar, I'm just woofing at this guy, saying, and he's woofing right back at me. And they got me outside the bar, and we're right at the door, and this guy made the mistake, the guy that was woofing at me made the mistake of putting his face up against the window of the bar. And I wound up, I hit him through the glass window, broke the window, smacked the guy's face, the bar called the cops arrested me. But it was really one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it was really the first time I stood up. I wasn't going to be bullied anymore. I was sick of it. And really, even though I spent the night in jail about it, it was the best night I ever spent in jail, because I finally felt like I am redeemed, man. I finally figured out, okay, well, make fun of me, you're going to pay. And you're going to pay for every time I've been made fun of in my life. So get used to it. So that's